Interesting what you were saying about how the players are going to cope with it. You and I both watched the darts last night.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Luke Humphries in a minute, but as you would imagine, the spotlight is going to be on the 16-year-old Luke Littler. What do you think will be going through his mind when he gets up onto that stage? We'll be speaking to Luke and... well, both Luke Humphries and Luke Littler, within the next 45 minutes. They'll both be joining us one at a time. So we'll ask them that question. But you mentioned what it's like for you as an ex-sportsman who've played in front of hundreds of thousands of people week in, week out. How do you think they deal with that pressure going up on stage, and they know that if they make a mistake, it will cost them, and there's no one like a teammate to bail them out of problems?
I think maybe Luke Humphries might feel it a little bit more. Because I think 16 years old, Luke Littler, what was expected of him when he came to this tournament? Probably nothing. He probably wanted to do well for himself. But it's almost the way he's kind of just glided through this tournament. I think he'll get up there tonight and he'll be like, well, I'm 16, I wasn't expected to win. So I know when you get so close, it's like, oh, I'm desperate to win. But it almost looked like to me, he's just been like, well, listen, it's almost like a privilege I'm here. I'm only 16 years old. I've got plenty more in the tank to going forward. He might just relax and just go, do you know what, whatever will be, will be. But the only thing that maybe could sway him is the crowd, because he will know full well everyone wants to see him win. We're talking about it. It seems like it's massive. I spoke about it yesterday that my interest in darts wasn't massive until I saw this young kid get involved in 16 and he's kind of captured the nation. So I think he'll step up on the stage and be like, do you know what, it's like a free hit for me. So I think he'll be quite calm. Whereas Luke Humphries will be thinking, I know everyone wants him to win. So he might get the jitters a little bit, but should be an exceptional final.
How much of Luke Littler's game will be, I'm here now, I've done it, anything else is a bonus? And how much of it will be, you know what, it will be a travesty if I didn't get over that final hurdle?
Well, that's the thing, because he probably thought when he going into the tournament, now obviously I don't know him, but being 16, people would have given him no chance whatsoever. He would have been probably like, let me win one game. If I can win one game, buzzing. Him getting to the final now, you're that close, touching distance, you must be like, do you know what? Oh, I want to win it now. Your complete that kind of thought process changes. You go into the tournament going, I hope I can win one game. So you get to the final, I want to win it. I need to win it. So if he can handle his emotions, being 16 years old, 16, you're just free, aren't you? You don't really care what happens. I think that might stand in his favour.
When he started the competition, he was ranked 164 in the world. If he wins tonight, he becomes number 9. On top of that, he gets £500,000. He's already guaranteed £100,000 as well.
A lot of kebabs, that.
There will be a lot of kebabs and omelettes as well. How much of that do you think will be in his mind when he's up there getting close? Is it none of it? We've got the trophy behind us. It's an unbelievable trophy. You and I have been lucky enough to pick it up as well. I don't know if he's strong enough to pick it up.
Yeah.
But either way, how much of his focus will be on just becoming world champion, and how much of I can get £500,000 in my bank account, how much of that could affect his game?
I almost feel like some of the teen sensations we've seen before in various different sports, it almost feels like money's at the back of their mind. They don't even think about that. That just comes naturally with them being so talented. So I think for Luke Littler, he'll probably just go, okay, it's about being world champion and lifting the trophy. All the other added extras you get by being a world champion, the money, as you spoke about, the fame that's going to come with him if he wins. He's probably grown in stature anyway. But if he wins it, his whole life will change. I think all that gets put to one side. That will come the more he progresses. But if he wins it, first and foremost, like now, all he'll probably be thinking is world champion. Not $500,000, just be the best in the world. That's what he'll be thinking.
You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent alongside. In this hour, we will be joined by both finalists, Luke Humphries and Luke Littler. We'll get their views on the day of the final. Let's find out how they were feeling last night when they made it to the final. We'll start with Luke Littler, who reached the final of the 2024 World Darts Championship after beating Rod Cross, and it was live on talkSPORT 2, that semi-final last night. The 16-year-old beat the 2018 World Champion 6-2 to set up that match against pre-tournament favourite Luke Humphries, and Littler spoke to talkSPORT after yesterday's win, looking ahead to tonight's final.
Obviously I want to win for myself, and I also want to win with the ones who have travelled down to watch me. I kind of think if I could even lift the trophy, is it heavy? But no, I can't believe I'm still here. It's crazy to think I'm in a World Championship final. The amount of finals I've watched, and now I'm into one. Whenever they sing there's only one Luke Littler, what's going through my head is there's only one Phil Taylor. But I think I've took that off Phil.
I think he has. Phil Taylor, by the way, I don't know if you're aware of this, although darts was completely different back then, but Phil Taylor, when he became world champion for the first time in 1990 after beating Erik Bristow, he was 125 to 1 outsider, by the way, was 30 years old. I know darts is different because, of course, you know, when Taylor was at the Ocky, you didn't necessarily have kids playing darts like you do now. The coverage on telly was completely different. But either way, listen, we know Taylor went on to win 14 PDC World Darts Championships, 16 in all if you include the 2 that he won for the BDO. 16's the magic number.
Yeah.
This kid is 16 years
Yeah.
old. Will he, even at this stage, and we'll ask him this when he joins, will he be thinking about numbers like that, do you think, at all?
I think it's all about getting the first one. You can't get to 16 if you ain't got one. My dad...
Hey, your maths is coming along.
But my dad always used to say that to me at the
Yeah.
start of every season. He said, there's no point whatsoever in thinking about 20 goals. You need to get one. That's the most important one, because without the one, you can't get to 20. And I think for Luke Littler, that's the same thing. In his head, he's probably thinking, do you know what I mean? 16's a world record, but you need to get that one in first. You don't want to be that guy that gets to finals, and can't quite get it over the line. Get the one in, then you start thinking about down the line, but get the one first.
Before the darts started over 2 weeks ago now, you weren't the biggest darts fan in the world, right? And nor were, let's be fair, nor were quite a lot of people that are currently watching it. So
Yeah.
my wife this morning on a dog walk, she was telling me where Rob Cross was going wrong last night. Right, we were on the dog walk and she was talking about it. Just to put into some perspective just how much of the country has got taken over by darts over the last couple of weeks. The highest ever viewing figures for Sky for a World Darts match happened to be the 2015 final between Taylor and Anderson. It was 1.65 million watched that. Last night,
The semi-final,
which Luke Littler, of course, was in action, 2.32 million people watched it. That's more than they've got viewing figures for the Ashes and the Ryder Cup. There's no football on tonight. That number could be well over 3 million. Are you surprised at just how much the country has got caught up in it, including you, and including lots of people that weren't even sports fans, let alone darts fans previously?
No, do you know why? Because when you get like a sensation or something that's a little bit different, it captures people's imagination. So when you see a kid who's 16, first and foremost, I'm like, I think you said it at the very top of the tournament, you went, there's a 16-year-old kid, have you seen him? I was like, no. But then when you start to hear the grumblers, he's won one game, then he's winning it, and the way that he's winning it, all of a sudden, it's sports. We all love sports. I know we've all got our favourite sports, football, NFL, like you like NFL, of course.
You love the NFL.
Of course. It's one of those where when you get something that's a little bit different, a little bit special, it just captures everybody's imagination. And that's what happened with me. Like, I probably wouldn't have watched this competition, but the fact there's a 16-year-old kid in there and the way he's doing it, and with ease, the way he's going past people, I'm almost like, well, I need to see this. I need to see what this whole fuss is about. And I think that's what's captured everyone else.
And now you've seen it, you've never seen anything like it, have you?
As in the dart world.
Just such a young kid who looks like he's been up there 15, 20 years.
Probably not, but when I think back to Wayne Rooney at 16, I remember thinking to myself, I've never seen anything like this.
So you would have, just to put in context, you would have seen a mix with Wayne Rooney way before that goal for Everton
around
against
14,
Arsenal.
yes.
Okay.
And I remember thinking back then, I've not seen anything like this. He's 14 years old, and he was like a man. And then when he did burst on the scene for Everton against Arsenal, it was like, well, I knew this was coming. But it was like a whirlwind, because 16, he's doing that. I think he's 17 in the Euros 2004, where he's the best player. If he doesn't get injured, I think England probably win that tournament. That was one I just thought, oh my goodness, what have we just witnessed here? And I'm sure people in the darts world, and not maybe just the darts world, that's a bit unfair, probably people in the sporting world are looking at this going, same thing. Same thing, what are we seeing and what are we witnessing here?